Good evening, class, and thank you so much for joining today's class on performance management. Okay, today we'll be discussing transfer pricing. Now, what is transfer pricing? To answer that question, we need to know what is transfer. Transfer is where you make a movement from one place to another, or let's say perhaps you move an item from one department to another department. So we have what is called transfer, and we have what is called outright sales. So a transfer is different from an outright sales because outright sales is made to external people that are not part of your organization, whereas a transfer is made between departments or branch in an organization. So that's the difference between a transfer and sales revenue. Now, this can be illustrated this way. When a father gives his children pocket money, this is a source of income to them. But when you add all the income of the family, you'll find out that what the father transferred to the children is still circulating in the family. So even if the children will say, oh, I have earned some income, there is no increase in income in the family, except if any of them gets income outside. So that's what happens when transfer is done within a group. If one group if one unit within the group sells to another unit within the group, it is not called a sales because there is no income to the group. It is called a transfer because the same value remains. But now if they sell to outsiders, yes, they now get value, you will call it a sales. Now, when we do transfer pricing, there is a need for us to know how to maximize the group interests. That is what they call group goal congress. Now, it means that if one group is taking a decision to sell, that decision should be in sync with the group's goals and objective. If the group that is buying or the division that is buying is making a purchase or is receiving the transfer, it should be according to the group's decision or the group's goals and objective. So that's what we call group goal congress. So in order to make an effective transfer pricing or transfer, you should know what the organization policy is. So the organization will carefully script out its policy so that you can get to see that policy and it will be so clear. And the organizational policy, if followed, is supposed to give you the greatest possible profits. So what is a transfer price? A transfer price is the best price or group of price, or I can say range of prices that the division that is transferring will agree to transfer, and the division that is receiving the transfer will agree to receive that transfer in such a way that both divisions would not complain and the group's goal objective will be achieved. So it means that it's going to be a price whereby the selling division, the one that is transferring, and the buying division, the one receiving the transfer, will both agree on. We'll be talking about two transfer prices. One of them is called transfer price at marginal cost. When we do a transfer price at marginal cost, what does it mean? It means that the variable cost of making that object or getting that component is considered, and that is the transfer price that will be given out to the buying department. Now, what is the effect of giving out your transfer price on variable costs? One, if you give your price, your goods out on transfer on variable costs, you will not cover your fixed cost. It means that you may be making a loss, and that loss will be equal to your fixed cost. And so it means that the selling division will be at a loss when doing that. And so in order not to feel cheated, there are conditions that this must happen. There are conditions that this must happen. So it means that if all the fixed cost has been adequately covered, then transfer price could then be at a variable cost. We also have transfer price at market price. Transfer price at market price is the price that ordinarily the buying division will get it in the market. And so if the buying division decides to go to the market to buy flour for, let's say, 50,000 naira, that's the market price, and you are selling it for 50,000 naira to him, the buying department will not waste its time going to the market to go and get the flour. The only time you will think of going to the market is if you are selling above the market price. Okay, so now we want to talk about opportunity cost. Transfer price at opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the cost of the foregone alternative. So it means that for you to transfer at opportunity cost, there must be a competitor. There must be an alternative buyer. It means if I were to transfer to the buying division and I deny somebody else who is an external person because I want to favor the internal person, then how much will I have sold out to this external party, which I am denying him? That will be the opportunity cost. So it means that there are times you can sell at opportunity cost. So there are times you can sell at opportunity cost. What times are these? These are times when there is a denying of an external market in favor of the internal market. It means that if two people are in contest over a particular amount of goods or quantity of goods, and you decide to favor the internal person, it means you will give the internal person at the price which would have been given to the external person if that has been carried out. What do we mean? It means that if you have 10 quantity of a component, then external market is looking for 7. Internal market is looking for 5. 7 plus 5 will give you 12, but you have 10. So what do? You give the internal person, you give the, okay, let me rephrase the question. Okay, you have 10, internal market is looking for 7, external market is also looking for 7. 7 plus 7, 14, and so you have 10 to satisfy. What do? You give each of them 5, 5, or you give out, what is that is 14 is what is being demanded. So it means that 4 is going to be short. So what do? 7 minus 4 from the internal market will give you 3. 7 minus 4 from the external market will give you 3. So it means you will give the internal market 3, give the external market 3. Then who will you give the remaining 4? So it now boils down to who are you denying? If you are going to deny the external market by giving the 4 to the internal market to complete their 7, you must give it at an opportunity cost. Let me use another example. You also have 10 components. Internal market wants 5. External market wants 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. That means there will be 2 in contest. So what do? Remove the 2 in contest from both parties' demand. So it means that the internal market needing 5, you give them 3, and you hold that 2. External market wants 7, you give them 5, you hold that 2. So 5 plus 3, making 7. Okay, making 8. So you've given out 8. 2 of these parties are short by 2. So who will you favor the 2 to? You favor the 2 to the internal market, giving them at the price of the external market. That is the opportunity cost. Today, we are going to look at one question, exercise 1, and let's see how we can answer that question using the 2 method, opportunity cost and the marginal cost. This question is a past question from ICANN, so I acknowledge ICANN for this question. So this is the exercise 1 we are solving today. X and Y divisions are 2 arms of the XY group of companies. X division manufactures one type of component which it sells to external customers and also to Y division. The following relates to division X. Market price per component, we have it as 200 naira. Variable cost per component, we have it as 105 naira. Fixed cost per period, we have it as 1,375,000 naira per period. demand from Y division, they need 20,000 components per period. And what's the capacity of X? X can make 35,000 components per period. Now, Y division assembles another type of product which it sells to external customers. Each unit of that product requires 2 components that are manufactured by X. So it means here that if they are taking 20,000 components from X division, using 2 to make 1 unit that they sell to external customers, 20,000 components taking 2 at a time will mean that they're going to have 10 units that they will sell, 10,000 units rather. All right, the following information relates to Y division. Selling price is 800 naira. Variable cost per unit. Now, these are the variable cost per unit. We have 2 components from X. So 2 components, they are still telling us 2 components from X, which is what they told us in the first paragraph, which is equal to 2 at transfer price. So it's instructive here that they didn't tell you the transfer price. Here they want to determine how much is the transfer price. Other variable costs, we have it as 250 naira per unit. Then fixed cost is 900,000 per period. Now the demand that is being asked by outsiders is 10,000 units per period. And what is their capacity? Their capacity is 10,000 units per period. How do we know? Because they have demanded for 20,000 components per period. If they are going to do more than that, and because X have capacity of 35,000, they could have asked for more, but they are asking for 20,000, taking 2 at a time. It means their capacity is 10,000 units. Group transfer policy. Now, this is what you should also know, look out for in the question. Transfer must be at opportunity cost. So we need to know what is that opportunity cost. And second, Y must buy the components from X. So it means that even if Y can see sellers outside there, they must not buy from outside. They must buy from X. And if X has buyers coming to buy from him, they have to favor Y first before anybody. So it means that if they have to deny anybody just to satisfy Y, they will do it. And transfer must be at opportunity cost. What does that mean? It means that that part that is going to be denied external customers, Y will be ready to take up that part at the price that is supposed to be earned from the third party. So in this question here, the price is going to be the market price. 200 naira is what is supposed to be sold to external customers. Now, normally, to internal customers, we are supposed to sell at 105 naira because that's the marginal cost. So far as it does not mean denying the external market. But whenever there is a clash between the external market and the internal market, that quantity that is being disputed must be sold to the internal market at 200 naira opportunity cost that would have been gotten from the external market. So that's what we are going to do. Required. Calculate the profit for each division if the external demand per period for the components that are made by X division is 15,000 components in part 1, 19,000 components, and 35,000 components. So we are going to be looking at the profit for X division, the profit for Y division. And don't be fooled. You need to still do the profit for the group, even though you are not told. Profit for the group. But let me tell you here now, the profit for the group at various requests will not change. At various requests will not change. But let's prove it out. Let's find out. So we want to look at if external market demands 15,000, what will be the profit for the two divisions? If they increase their demand to 19,000, how will the profit pan out in the two divisions? And what if they increase their demand to 35,000 units? How will it play out? Right, so let's look at the solution. I would like to share my Excel file where the solution will be so clearer. Okay, so this is the Excel file. Let's look at the solution here. XYZ group of companies. That's the heading. Now look at the group transfer policy. Now the transfers must be at opportunity costs. That's one. And Y must buy the components from X. He has no choice. Now look at the first part. Profits for each division if external markets demand of 15,000 components. Now look at this preliminary calculation. The demand, the production capacity for division X is 35,000. Now, if Y must buy from X, it means that all the 20,000 units that it wants to buy will be given to Y. And so what will be available for the external market? You simply do 35,000 minus 20,000 gives you 15,000. So 15,000 will be available for external markets. Now let's see what the external market wants. Wow, the external market wants 15,000. So what does that mean? How much quantity will be denied the external customers? None at all. And so if none will be denied the external market, that means the transfer price will be at 105 naira, which is variable cost. So it means the amount, the price that will be sold to the internal market division Y will be at 105 naira, while the external market will continue to buy at 200 naira. Since there is no conflict, it means I can produce 35,000 components. My brother, the internal market, wants 20,000, no problem. Outside, I wants 15,000, no problem. If you combine their demands, it's 35,000 that I can make. So I will give you all at no problem. Now look at the solution here. We have the sales to external markets. It means that division X is selling to external market at 200 naira and is going to sell 15,000 units at 200 naira. All right, so Division Y is also selling its own finished product to external market, and the price is 800 naira, and they are using these 20,000 units that they collected from X to make 10,000 units of their own product, which is sell at 800 naira. So it gives you 8,000 units and 8 million naira for division Y. That's the sales revenue. So remember, X has sold to external market 15,000. Now X is selling to Y. The remaining 20,000, it will be sold at 105 naira, which is the variable cost, which is the transfer price. And when you work that out, it gives you 2,100,000. When you now add the external sales plus internal transfer, you have 5,100,000 as the total sales for division X, while that of division Y is 8 million. Now, it is interesting to note that the transfer price is a revenue to the transferer, and a cost, a variable cost to the receiver. So it means that it's just like a father who gives money to his son as pocket money. It is a cost to him, it's a revenue to the son. So the same way, when a son sells something to the father, the son will receive revenue from the father will be spending, making a cost. So that's what it means here. So this person, division X, has made a revenue selling at variable cost to division Y. Division Y has spent equal amount of money buying from division X. So that's a variable cost. Then we now have variable costs. Now this variable cost is the variable cost of making the product. We have 35,000 units being made by division X. And when you multiply it by 105, you have 3,675,000. When you now remove your fixed costs of 1,375,000, you are now left with 50,000 naira as the profit for division X. Looking at division Y, you bring its variable costs and its fixed cost for the period. The profit is 2,500,000. When you look at the group's profit, is 2,550,000. So it didn't change. So it's just a addition of the profit from X and the profit from Y. Okay. All right. Let's go to the B part. The B part says, what if the demand from the external market is 19,000 components? Once again, we make this analysis. X can produce 35,000, but division Y wants 20,000. If division Y wants 20,000, that means 15,000 will be available to the external market. But how much does the external market need? The external market needs 19,000. And so if you are giving the external market 15,000 out of 19,000, it means you must have denied 4,000. So it means that 4,000 being denied to the external market would have been given to the internal market. So what will be the transfer price? The transfer price will be 105 naira for 16,000 units. So it means out of that 20,000 you gave to the internal market, remove that 4,000 you denied external market. The remainder, which is 16,000, will be given at 105 naira transfer price. That's the variable cost. Then the 2,000, the 4,000 that you denied the external market, you are going to give it to the internal market at opportunity cost, 200 naira. So that's what we are going to do here. And let's see how the profit will be. Now, sales to external markets. So it means the external market wanted 19,000, but you told them, look, external market, I don't have 19,000. I will give you 15,000 components. They say, no problem, bring it. You give it, and you got 3 million naira, as usual. Then division Y sold their own component after buying from you for 8 million naira, no change. No change. Then you now sold to division Y. Now it is, if you look at it here, it is being splitted into two. 16,000 units is being sold at 105, while 4,000 units is being sold at 200 naira. So when you add them up together, it gives you 2,480,000. So when you add these two together, you look at the sum here, bottom, the Excel sheet here, the sum tells you 2,480,000. Incidentally, that is the transfer price. So if you look at the Excel, it's the sum of these two. That's the transfer price. Now, the variable cost for the whole 35,000 did not change. The fixed cost did not change. Same thing with the division Y, and the fixed cost and variable cost did not change. But did you notice here that the division X has increased its profit from 50,000 to 430, while division Y has reduced its profit from 2,500,000 to 2,120,000. So you see, because of the transfer price at opportunity cost has increased the cost for the division Y, while its revenue is constant, so the profit has dropped. But look at the group. The group is still making the same amount of profit, 2,550,000. It doesn't change. Transfer price between two groups does not change. Let's look at the third one. When external market decides to demand for 35,000 components, how does that make the external market, how does that make the internal market feel? Now let's see. You can produce 35,000. You are X, you can produce 35,000. You now have division Y, your brother, asking you for 20,000. If you give him that, it means you are going to keep 15,000 available for external markets. But now the external market is saying, I need 35,000. If you are going to give me 15,000, that means you've denied me 20,000. It means the whole 20,000 you are giving to division Y is what you've denied me. So what does that mean? The whole 20,000 units that will be given to Y will be at opportunity cost. It will not be at 200 naira. Everything sold to Y will be 200 naira, and nothing will be sold to external markets. Okay, sorry, 15,000 will be sold to the external market. All right, let's see. Sales to external markets, 15,000 times 200 naira still gives you the same 3 million. Division Y sales still gives you 8 million, no change. But now take note, the transfer to division Y is going to be at 200 naira. The whole 20,000 units will be at 200 naira. Remember when we did part 1, the whole 20,000 was given at 105, and division X made a lower profit, division Y make a higher profit. Now, when we splitted it, part opportunity cost, part variable cost, division X profit improved, division Y profit reduced. Now we are giving everything out at market price, opportunity cost to division Y. We find out that the profit of Y has reduced to 600. The profit of X has increased from 430 to 1,950,000. And the group's profit remains unchanged. So that's how we do opportunity cost at different prices. So seeing the impact of the prices on each of the divisions. When it was sold at marginal cost, division X makes a very small profit, division Y makes a very high profit. When it was partly sold at opportunity cost, partly sold at variable cost, division X make a fair profit, division Y makes a fair profit. So the profit of both sides depend on how many quantity is being sold at variable cost and how many is sold at opportunity cost. Now in this last one here, everything is being sold at opportunity cost, and division X is happy, makes a high profit, division Y is sad. But take note here, division X, the selling unit will determine the lowest price in the transfer price group. So it means that the lowest price that division X can sell is the variable cost, 105. If it sells below 105, it means it is not going to make any contribution, it's rather going to make a loss. But if it sells at 105, it's going to make zero contribution. And you know what zero contribution means? It's like a break-even contribution, so to speak. So your profit or your contribution is zero. So the point where the selling division's contribution is zero, that is the lowest price that the transfer price group will have. Now, what is the highest price? The highest price is what will make the buying division's contribution to be zero. The price that will make the buying division's price and contribution to be zero. And it means that as long as division Y is making a contribution, it will accept the price. The moment it makes zero contribution, that is the highest price it can go. So it means that the highest price that division X can sell to Y will be 400 naira. Because if you multiply 400 times 20 to give you 8 million, which will make okay, so anything that will make the division Y's price contribution to be zero, that is the highest price. But now there is another possibility. If there is a market price, it means that the highest price that division X can sell to division Y will be the market price. If it sells higher than the market price, division Y will run to the market to go and buy. So the lowest price is 105. Here, this question, the highest price is 200. Now let's look at the B part of the question. It says, calculate the financial impact on the group. Now, this is the impact on the group if Y division ignored the transfer pricing policy and purchased the 20,000 components that it needs from an external supplier for 170 naira each. So it means here that division Y has now looked at it and said, I can't keep buying from division X at 200 naira anytime there is a conflict. Yes, I know I've been enjoying 105 naira variable cost, but when I try to buy at 200 naira opportunity cost, I'm getting losses. Let me try buying from an external supplier at 170 naira, and let me forget about buying from division X. And now let's see how it will affect the group policy, the group's profit. So we're going to see how it's going to apply when external market demanded for 15,000 units, 19,000 and 35,000 naira, 35,000 components. So let's see how it's going to pan out. I share my slides again. So let's go to the B part. Now this is the B part of the question. The group policy transfer must be at opportunity cost. Y chooses to buy the components from external supplier. So it has ignored buy from X. Now what will happen if external market demands 15,000 units? Okay, look at what will happen. Production capacity for X is 35,000 units. External market has demanded 15,000. And so what will X produce? Since Y is not buying from X anymore, X can only produce for external market. So X will only produce 15,000. So how does it affect the group? All right, let's see. X will sell to the group, no, to external market, 15,000 units at 200 naira, 3 million. Y, when it buys from outsiders, this 20,000 component, is going to still sell the 10,000 units of its produce at 800 naira and will still make it 8 million. When you look at it here, sales to Y division is 0. There is no transfer. No transfer from X to Y. So what happened? The purchase from external supplier will be a variable cost to Y. So it will now replace that transfer pricing because there was no sales from X to Y. It's now being replaced by purchase from external supplier. So you are purchasing your 20,000 units at 170. That's fine. You have 3,400,000. When you remove your variable cost and your fixed cost, this is variable cost 2 for 15,000 units and fixed cost. X is making 50,000 naira as before 50,000 naira. So what's the difference? The difference was because it made a profit from selling to Y at variable costs, and it also expended variable cost. So the price for selling for X to Y cancel out the variable cost it spent, and so that's why we are still having 50,000 naira. But Y has made a profit now of 1,200,000. So you see the profit it made before when it was buying from X was 2,500,000, but now he has made 1,200,000 200, a smaller profit. But what of the group? The group's profit has reduced to 1,250,000. Let's look at the B part. Now, this is where the external market is looking for 19,000 units. Now, X can produce 35,000. External market is saying, give me 19,000. Since internal market is not buying, X will only have to produce 19,000. So how does it look like? 19,000 will now be given to external markets at 200. Now the profit, the sales revenue has increased. And how does it span? Look at the variable cost too has also increased. So what happened here? 430. Now 430 will be the same price, the same profit that was made when X was selling to Y is the same profit X is making without selling to Y. So I've said it in two cases. And now Y is making 120 non-stop 1,200,000. So at all times it's making 1,200,000. But now, because X has produced and sold more than before to external market, the group's policy, the group's price has now increased to 1,630,000 from 2,250,000. Okay, now the last one here, production capacity is 35,000. The external market say, please give us the whole 35,000. So it means that their sales revenue for X has increased. So is the variable cost. The variable cost will also, I beg your pardon, this variable cost has a little mistake, is 35,000. So the variable cost here has increased. And so the profit for the period will be 1,950,000. And so it has now increased the value of the group by up to 3,150,000. So you see here, it has increased from the normal 2,250,000 to 3,150,000. So what is really the impact on the group? So look at the impact from the group. Look at the profit of group when Y decides to buy from X, 2,250,000. But when Y decide to ignore, look at the group's profit. And so they made a loss. The group made a loss of 1,300,000. Now, when the demand increased from external markets to 19,000 components, the group's policy was still the group profit was still 2,550,000. But when Y decided to ignore and went to buy outside, now because X has increased its supply to external customer, the loss they were able to make has reduced to 920. And finally, when X decide to sell everything it has to external customers, the whole 35,000 units, the profit now that they gain, not the loss, the profit that they gain when the group policy was ignored is 600,000. So it means that if Y must buy from outside, let it be that all the components that X must produce should be sold to external customers. So that means the demand should be from X, and external market should demand 35,000, that is when they are going to make a profit that will make the group increase its wealth. Well, you see here, if X decides to buy, if the market decides to buy 20,000 units, 20,000 components from X, and Y goes to buy 20,000 components outside, think the profit of the group will give us the 2,550,000. It will not change. So whenever the group policy must be disobeyed, it means that external demand must be 20,000 units and above. If that is so, then the group policy should not be ignored. So this is how far we come to the end of our transfer pricing class tonight. We've seen transfer pricing at opportunity cost, transfer pricing at market price. So whenever you are given a transfer pricing question, please look out for the group's policy. Look out for opportunity costs. Look out for market price. And when you do that, you can be sure that when you also look out for what is that quantity that is going to be denied the external market. That particular quantity that will be denied the external market is what will be given out at opportunity cost, which is the market price. The other quantity that is not denied the external market will be given at variable cost. So what I mean here is, if I have 10,000 units and external market is looking for 7,000 units, internal market is looking for 4,000 units, 4 plus 7 will give us 11,000. So what do? I will give out the 4,000 units to the internal market that is demanding it, but I cannot give out 7,000 to external market. I will only give them 6,000. I have denied them one. So that's one I denied them is part of the 4,000 I gave to internal market. It means 3,000 I give to internal market will be at variable cost. The 1,000 which is denied the external market being given to the internal market will be at opportunity cost. So that's what you need to know, and you'll be good with transfer pricing. So thank you once again for coming to class. See you again in the next class when another topic will be delivered. Do have a nice day, and thank you once again. Have a nice day.